Wonderful. Okay. Let's see here. Hi, Judy. Hello, hello. All right. About one more minute and we'll get started here, okay? Judy, can you hear me well? I hope you can hear me. I can't hear you, but that's okay. All good. All right. Okay. As people slowly join us here, I will keep an eye full so that I can let people into Zoom here. And let's see here. All right. Let's see here. One more person. We're slowly joining. Okay. Okay. Mrs. M, hello. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, thank you.
Tita, I'm going to put you on silent here, okay? Because I could hear the background noise. Okay, let me go ahead and do this here. It's going to be easier. There we go. All right. Tita, I hope you're still with us. If not, please join us again. All right. Alejandro, Mauricio, Irama, Octavio. Hello, 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 everybody. Wonderful. Okie dokie. It is 7:04 Tuesday evening for our dinner with the dogs. Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. The sun is shining behind me, slowly setting. We're gonna. I was waiting for people to join us on Zoom little by little, but as they join us, I will go ahead and make a memo to let them in. Welcome, welcome. So dinner with the dogs is something that we host every fourth Tuesday of every month, and it's about different topics of wellness, of care, of health, different educational topics. Sometimes we will talk about Chinese medicine. Sometimes we will dabble into other paradigms of wellness, as we're going to do today. Today, we're actually going to talk about chakras and what they are and what significance they have with regards to the human body and how they have this esoteric concept behind them, but they are actually very concrete in what they are with regards to how we use them and how they serve us with regards to our proper state of alignment. So just a quick introduction. My name is Dr. John Raphael Heiz, JR for short. This is something that I love doing every fourth Tuesday of every month. So I'm glad, very happy that everyone is here joining us today. So there are various forms of attaining alignment, and let me dive into what alignment is real quick. In the previous last month, I believe, we talked a little bit. We dabbled on this concept of alignment, and alignment, in a nutshell, at least for me, alignment is a proper state of being. And being, I call it the B with a capital B, all right? It's a state of being. It's not a mindset. It's not a physical state. It's not an emotional state. It's a conscious state of being where we are in constant flow, where we are in a calm state of mind, when we are constantly aware and interacting with our surroundings, with our environment, with our friends, with our families, with our work, with our state of affairs at home, with our financial state, with everything that life brings us. And alignment is simply, another way I describe it is learning how to surf. And in this case, we are surfing the wave of life. So when I talk about alignment, that's basically what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this state where we are connected physically, mentally, emotionally, and consciously to the present moment, living life to its fullest, living life with purpose, living life with oomph, with drive, with passion, getting up every single morning with this ignition, this inner fire that we have internally that gives us the necessary energy, that necessary oomph to tackle the day ahead, and not tackle the day ahead as in you're battling. No, instead, the invitation here is to tackle the day by riding that wave, by enjoying every moment, every second, every instant of your day-to-day life interactions. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I speak about the state of alignment. Okay, when we are aligned properly, we have three main things. We have tranquility, and that's with regards to the physical form. Our physical body is tranquil. Our physical body is not in a sense in a state of tense. We're unclenched up here, we're unclenched down south, and everything is circulating. All of our vital information, all of our blood, everything is circulating adequately. Everything is fluid, and we have a fluidity within our physical body, but we also have fluidity in our ability to adapt to life itself. So fluidity is fluidity with regards to flexibility of our joints, of our muscles, of our tendons, etc., etc. But it's also flexibility in life. When life throws a um, a rock at you, how do you perform in that sense? Do you have a knee jerk reaction, or do you have a more, dare I call it, a Tai Chi flow, where you just let the rock pass by and live your life to your fullest potential, to your fullest ability? So that's tranquility with regards to the physical form. There's also a sense of serenity when it comes to our emotional state. Our emotions, I've said this before, our emotions are 90% the causes of our states of disease. And disease is two words. It's dis-ease. It's a disharmony. Life is no longer in balance. Life is no longer easy. So when we are in a state of serenity, it's not that we turn off our emotions. We can't turn off our emotions, just like we can't turn off our mind. Instead, we don't let our emotions take control of us. So sometimes, we are happy. Sometimes we are sad. Sometimes we are frustrated, irritable, and angry. Sometimes we are fearful. And all of these emotions make us who we are. They are not only a necessity, but they make us human beings in the sense that they give us purpose. They give us, they are our guides. They are our antenna to every ounce of learning that we have in this world, in this lifetime. That's the importance of our emotions. So a state of serenity is not pushing our emotions away. It's not that by any means. Instead, it's observing, acknowledging our emotional state, and then just letting it pass with ease, with smoothness. So that's the state of serenity. And then we have an inner calmness, and that is the state of mind. When we are in a state of calmness, We have clarity. We have clarity. We have crispiness in our ability to see things. We see things with ease. We see things accurately, adequately, without judgment behind it. We have without fear. We have the ability to see life, to hear life adequately and appropriately, so that we can, one, learn from our day-to-day interactions, as well as move throughout our day on an hour basis, on a minute to minute basis, on a second to second basis, with this sense of peacefulness, so that whatever happens outside, whatever happens in the outside world, in our environment, in our society, doesn't take a toll in our heart, in our state, in our mental state. So those are the three components of being in a state of alignment or correct alignment. One, it's funny, the human body has so many intricacies, right? We have such a unique vehicle, what I call the vehicle. It's the vehicle that the self or the being resides within, and it is full of antenna. It is full of antenna. Have everybody has had goosebumps, right? You know, when you think of something and it just makes your skin, perk up, right? That's an intuitive reaction that we have, and it's biochemical. Hi, Andres, how are you? Welcome, welcome. And it's biochemical. It's a natural reaction we have with our environment, with the world that resides outside of our vehicle. We have something called intuition. And intuition is this gut feeling. It's this, this something I'm feeling, something I'm sensing, something that tells us when something is off, or something that tells us maybe that's a good idea, maybe that's not a good idea, maybe you should rethink things. Maybe it's an antenna that allows us, or that reacts when we are in a state of disalignment. When something is no longer allowing us to be in that proper state of alignment, we have antenna that react, right? The heart is a huge antenna. It feels joy, it feels passion, it feels devotion, but it also feels sadness. How many people have felt a broken heart? That's real. That's a very much a real sensation. It's not this concept that is out there that people don't understand. We all feel it. We all have that in us. And our chakras are yet another set of antenna that we have in our body, in our vehicle, that uh, interact with the outside world. So chakras. Chakras stand for wheels, right? Wheels, in this case, I'm going to use the word vortex, okay? They are vortexes of energy and information. And these vortexes, the reason why I say vortexes is because some of us might have heard of chakras as being centers of energy. Well, they are centers, but they are vortexes because they gather information from our surroundings. They're like vacuums of information. They accumulate, they bring that information inward so that we can process, integrate what needs to be integrated, so that we can react adequately to our surroundings. So in some documentation. You've seen the human body with the seven centers in the middle, in the front of the body. Some depictions are in the back of the body. In my understanding, and again, this is everything I share on Dinner with the Dogs. It's just my understanding. So please feel free to take or leave whatever I have to share. Whatever resonates with you, use it. Okay, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to share. But in my understanding, these energy centers are antenna from the front end as well as the back end. Okay, so you have the human body. Let's say that my hand is a human body. So you have antenna that go through the front. You have antenna that go through the back, right? And in the dead center of that vortex of energy or that vacuum of information, you have these spheres, these wheels constantly circulating, constantly interacting, that we call chakras. And these energy uh, vortexes um, correspond to specific areas of our bodies. And there's specificity to where they interact. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but it's really cool. It's very interesting. It's very cool when you start playing with chakras, because since they are correspondent to the center midline of the human body, when you learn to tap in to these energy centers, your body can tell you exactly what it needs to maintain that state of correct alignment. And that's the beauty. And that's what I'm hoping to shed some light on in today's talk. So let's go into the chakras real quick. There are seven main chakras, ranging from the bottom of the body to the top, most part of the head. And the first chakra, also known as the root chakra, it is in between, we'll call it in between the legs. It's at the perineum. Okay, so it's in between the gonads and the anus, and it resides there, and it collects information from our root. It collects information from the earth beneath us. It allows us to anchor ourselves. It allows us so that when energy is up here and we have mental chatter and we have all of this turmoil going upward, when we are clenching up here, when we have tinnitus, or when we have, again, all of this activity and we are not able to anchor ourselves just like a boat does. When you throw the anchor, the boat no longer moves. It's anchored to the bottom of the sea, of the waters. That gives us the ability to root. It is our root center. It is of correspondence to the color red. We're going to get into the colors in a little bit, but essentially our chakra system, counting the seven main chakras that we have many more chakras aside of that, but we're going to specifically talk about the seven main chakras today. They range from infrared to ultraviolet. Okay, it is the full color spectrum that we are able to see, physically see with our eyes. Okay, so that's why the correspondence of the colors, and the colors also describe the vibrational energy or the vibrational frequency of each center. So when we are closer to infrared spectrum, we are talking about longer wavelengths of information. Okay, we're not going to dive too much into that, but it's a general overview of how the chakras work in that sense. Root chakra is correspondent to what we call our kidney energy or our adrenals. Okay, it is the ignition of the car. It is that allowance for the body to go and get the necessary oomph to do whatever task is needed. Okay, it is correspondent in Chinese medicine to something that we call the inner fire. So, or the inner fire. It allows. Uh, it gives a wave of information to every single cell in your body to start vibrating so that you could have correct circulation of all of your vital information throughout your body. It is the direct correlation to the connection within our organ systems. Okay, it's the ignition. Without starting the car engine, you can't possibly drive a car. So think about it that way. It corresponds to our kidney energy, which has to do with our ancestral energy. And our ancestral energy is, simply put, the energy ignited when the sperm and the egg meet and give about life. Okay? So, and that takes an enormous amount of energy. It takes an enormous amount of oomph to actually create life. It, it's like a bright star that ignites within within the solar system or the galaxy. Okay, that's the power within the root center or the first chakra, corresponding to that intense energy. Okay, which is also why, as we grow older, that root chakra tends to be a little bit more deficient. Why? Because we are ascending into higher states of consciousness, into higher states of vibration, which no longer are in need of what we call this physical form, which in esoteric arts has to do with a lower frequency or a lower vibration. Okay? Our second center, designated the color orange, corresponds to our reproductive system. It corresponds to our gonads, our ovaries, and our testicles. It corresponds beautifully with our ability to reproduce. And what I mean by reproduce is to create, to give life. It also has to do with it's located in our pelvis. So now we are talking about, again, that flexibility, that adaptive nature that is within each and every one of us. We are able to adapt beautifully, so adequately to our surroundings, to whatever life has to, dare I say, throw at us. Okay, we have flexibility. We have the ability to move forward, to take every step forward in life. We have the ability to walk backwards or side to side, right? So all of that flexibility, adaptive nature comes from our second center. And the ability, uh, the innate ability to give life. And give life is to give life to another human being, but also give us life, give us purpose, give us the necessary, one, sexual drive, but two, the necessary energy in order to transmute into a creation that we want to manifest into reality. The birthing of a business, the creation of a family, the interaction with a partner or a soulmate, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a couple, the interaction with our friends, our family. That is the power residing within the second center. The third center has to do with our digestive system, but it's also known as the solar plexus. What do you call that? It's the lion within us. It is the conqueror. It is the warrior. It is the me that resides in me. This is my cell phone. It is mine, nobody else's. Right? I could put it here, but it's still mine. All right? It is the conqueror. In order to conquer a land back in the day, we had to have that solar plexus strong so that we can go conquer a land, give it a name, and make it ours. So that's why I described it as the inner lion. But it is also our digestive system, and it is a direct correlation with our pancreas. And the ability to produce insulin. And what is insulin? It is the ability to create sweetness within our life. If you have a problem with your pancreas, you need to find what makes your life sweet, because that is the disconnect. Your life is no longer sweet, and therefore it affects our pancreas. In most cases, this is a form of diabetes, for example. But going back to the solar plexus, or third chakra, this chakra is our gut, right? We have three brains. Let me side note for a second. We have three brains. One is the brain that we have up top. One is our heart, and the third one is our gut. All right, it has everything. Our liver that metabolizes all the information that we put within our body, not only our food and our drink and our water, but our thoughts, our emotions also must be metabolized. Our spleen in Chinese medicine has the ability to transform and transport all of this information. And what that means is that it transforms it into energy that is available to nourish our other aspects of our body, our other organs, and whatever is unnecessary for the body, it sends down this wonderful tubing, this wonderful tubing that we have within our body, so that it could be broken down even more, used appropriately, and what is not used is then expelled from the body. What an in, what an such a complex yet so functional system that we have, the human body. So that is the power within the solar plexus, and it is of correspondence with the color yellow. Why? Because it's the solar plexus. It's solar power. It's that great sun within us. It also has the ability to be very intuitive. When you're walking down the street and you're always taking the same route home, and then one day you're walking and something says, "Wait, this doesn't feel right. This isn't okay. We're gonna take the long way home." So we take the long way home, and we find out that maybe there was an accident, maybe there was a fire, maybe it was a car crash, whatever the case may be. Maybe the road was blocked and you couldn't get through. Whatever the case may be, your third center, the antenna that resides there, was in this case the one that sensed, that was intuitively connected with that space that told you to go around. Our fourth center. such a beautiful center. It is our heart center. And our heart center is allowing a transmutation. And by transmutation, I'm meaning making something that is solid, and making it into something that is more subtle. So now we're talking about uh, physical form to more energetic, to more vibrational. Okay, that is what we call transmutation. Transformation is creating something from what is subtle, what is vibrational, or what is energetic into something concrete. Okay, so that's the language I'm using here. Okay, the heart is that transmutational energy from our evolution of being conquerors, of being warriors, of living in the solar plexus, of the me within me and the I, and what is mine, and how am I going to create what is best for me, into the we within me. Now we are talking about creation of family. Now we are talking about creation of community. Now we are talking about creation of society. Now we are talking about a state of being where we have unity. No wonder we have so many uh, differences in the world today with how we view things. It's because we are evolving more so into the heart center. We are living the true meaning of the we, and what benefits we benefits me, and what benefits me benefits the we. And suddenly we are moving forward to a world where unity is actually found within humanity, where the person that is my neighbor, where my neighbor is not some person that I have no interaction with. Instead, my neighbor is my brother, is my sister, and we are all equal, and we are all drops of the same ponds, drops of the same ocean, drops of the same consciousness or source or whatever you want to call it. But we are all in connection with the state of evolution that benefits all as a whole. That is the state, the evolutionary state we have. It is described since World War II, that evolutionary state from the me within me to the we within the we, also force center in direct connection with something that we call the thymus gland. And the thymus gland is this big when we are babies. That's why we could eat all the sand in the sandbox and not get so sick. It's because it's this big when we are adults, mind you. So, but that's why we don't get sick when we are little, because we are building our immunity. It is the gland of immunity. It is our ability to recognize what is foreign within my body. But if you take it a step further, what is immunity? Immunity is also something called auto-recognition. I recognize myself in this life, and how I recognize myself in this life in correlation with my brothers and my sisters. And I'm not talking about blood relatives here. We are all in this together. We are all surfing this same wave of life, right? So now we are recognizing the me within the we, right? We are recognizing our body functions. We are connecting to a state of awareness where we are complementing all of these paradigms of wellness, all of these paradigms of medicine. That's why we are growing in healthcare into a healthcare system that integrates all of these different paradigms, which is also known as integrative medicine. That's why integrative medicine is launching so beautifully, or holistic medicine is another approach. Why? Because we have understandings of things like the chakra system, Ayurveda, or Chinese medicine, or Tibetan medicine, or bioenergetics, biocybernetics, whatever the case may be, Western medicine also included, where it's no longer my medicine is alternative to yours, and your medicine is your way of life is alternative to mine, and therefore they are different. No, inclusivity is within the state of integration, where now we are really acting with the we within the me. That's why we have so many struggles in society today, and we're not going to dive into that. But we also have uh, struggles with states of disease known as autoimmune disorders, because sometimes with whatever life is giving us, we no longer find ourselves in recognizing ourselves within this wave that we are surfing. So what happens? We fall into what is known as an autoimmune disorder. Or we have a difficulty recognizing what is foreign in our environment that can have an effect on our physical body, on our emotional body, on our mental body. So that is the thymus gland. It is a beautiful, the fourth center is a beautiful center. One, it deals with devotion. Every single action we take, since we have evolved into creatures that have these beautiful tools at our disposal called the hands and our fingers, and we're not going to dive too much into this, but just as an example, each finger corresponds to a consciousness movement or an element or an emotion, and every action that we take within our hands uh, is an act of service. We are serving our brothers and sisters. How can I help you better yourself? What can I do that will make you at ease outside of a state of dis-ease? I work in healthcare, so that's how I use my tools. All right. But another example is a plumber. I love this example. A plumber. A plumber is a great healer, because when your toilet breaks and your plumber comes to fix your toilet, that is true healing, ladies and gentlemen. True fact. So we are all in act of service to one another. Okay? So that everything we do is an act of service, and therefore it's an act of devotion. Devotion to what? Many people have their own philosophies, their own understanding of that. Devotion to God, sure. Devotion to consciousness, sure. Devotion to humanity, sure. Devotion to a service that betters my fellow man, sure. Devotion to a partner or a family or a friend or a community or a society, the list goes on. So every single thing we do with our hands, whether that is building something, building things with your hands, or whether that is in form of energy manipulation, or whether that is caressing a pet, or dare I say, embracing uh, uh, a friend, a brother, a sister. Everything we do with our hands, because at any given time or space, our hands always come back to the center of our chest. Let me repeat that. In any given time or space, our hands always go back to the center of our chest. So what happens when I do this? Just this movement alone. By holding this movement, by holding this position for just a few seconds, we can notice our heartbeat slowing down. All it takes is a few seconds. Why? Because we are bringing heat to the area. Why? Because we are bringing our consciousness to the area. Why? Because we are bringing the five elements or the five movements of consciousness. Why? Because this just feels good. Why? Because when I bring my hands in this position, what am I creating? A bird that flies. What is a bird that flies? It's freedom. It's liberation. So what do I do? All of that information, whether you do it with whatever information you act upon, every action you take with your hands has a consciousness information behind it. So that is why it's an act of devotion within passion, transmutated with that energy that from the pelvic center, our second center, and correspondence with our and with that inner fire directed from our first center. Do you see the correlation? Do you see that ascension of energy? Do you see that ascension of information that you can use with this paradigm known as the chakra system? So, moving forward, we have the fifth center. What is the fifth center? The fifth center is our thyroid, right? Going back to the fourth center, it's of emerald green color. Emerald green. So we have red, orange, yellow, emerald green. We have the color blue corresponding to the fifth center. Fifth center is our thyroid. Our thyroid is the gland of happiness. Our thyroid sends out the necessary hormones so that we can be in a state of ease. It's also our vocal cords. So it is the center now, with the main action being communication, expression, and creativity. In order to manifest something, in order to create something, you must have thought it, you must have spoken it, and in that, with those two components, you can manifest it. Okay? Sixth center of indigo blue color. Sixth center corresponds to our pineal gland. Our pineal gland is the gland that integrates all the information. It is our physical mind, it is our brain that allows us to integrate everything that our bodily functions are performing, as well as integrating what is happening in our surrounding. It is uh, the direct correlation with that inner calmness that we were talking about earlier. When we can activate the pineal gland, we can find our state, our we can attain a state of calmness, of mental peace and clarity. Seventh center, top of the head, just above, is the last of the seven main centers. It is of color violet. So now we went from infrared to ultraviolet. Excuse me, ultraviolet rather. It is the shortest wavelength, therefore the fastest vibrational energy within these seven centers, and it is in direct correlation with our pituitary gland. And our pituitary gland is, some describe it as the most important gland in our body. Why? Because it is what it is the information center, or the computer that sends out the necessary code to turn on or off our hormones. So this center that we corresponded to the thyroid that we said was the gland of happiness. Well, guess what? It's not happy unless the pituitary gland tells it to be happy. So now we have a introduction to what the these energy centers are, and as described before, I much prefer to call them antennas of information, because they're vacuums of energy, and they collect information so that we can use it appropriately and adequately. Okay, so those are the main seven centers. Today, I know we're almost, we got 10 minutes left of this hour. Wow, this hour, every hour goes by so quickly, guys. Anyways, I'd like to invite everyone to do a quick meditation, specifically targeting our second center, our pelvis, or our reproductive energy, and our fifth center, our throat and our thyroid. Now we have interaction with our gonads, with our ovaries, with our testicles, and our thyroid. And I'm going to walk you through a meditative process, where you can learn to transmute energy into manifesting what it is you would like to manifest within your life. Okay? So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Okay? What I'd like to invite everyone to do is just place whatever, a phone or anything you have on your hands, just put them down for a couple minutes. Okay? And let's go ahead and bring our awareness to our breath. And we can keep our eyes open, soft but open, or we can close them, whatever is comfortable for you. If you are seated, then remain seated. If you're standing and you are able to sit, then please, I invite you to sit down just for a few minutes while we do this. Okay? Let's bring our awareness to our breath, inhaling and exhaling, nice and calm, nice and relaxed. Bringing our awareness to the present moment, to the here and the now. Noticing where we are breathing. Are we breathing in our shoulders? Are we breathing in our abdomen? Are we breathing in our pelvis? Wherever it is we are breathing, just bring your awareness to that. Acknowledge where you are breathing. If you are breathing through your nose, then continue through your nose. If your mouth is better for you, then feel free to do so. We invite a sense of tranquility on a physical level, and very quickly and smoothly, we scan our body from top of the head to the bottoms of the feet, And we just allow a sense of releasing and letting go of any and all tension, any and all stress that we might be carrying within our body. We unclench our jaw, we untight, we unclench, we untight, we loosen our body. We can move left to right, front and back, just allowing us this nice state of access to alignment. We bring the volume down of our minds, just like bringing the volume down of a television. We never turn off our minds, we just simply bring the volume down. When we are present, we notice that it is a gift. That's why we call it presence in the first place. And we enjoy this experience. In whatever emotional state we find ourselves in, we acknowledge that state as we observe that state. And by acknowledging that state, whatever that state may be, we just let be in this moment, right here, right now. And what I'd like to invite everyone to do as we continue to be in this state of alignment is to take 15 deep breaths. And upon the inhale, I'd like you to visualize inhaling down to your perineum, almost slightly down bearing as if you were doing a reverse Kegel, filling up your pelvis entirely. And upon the exhale, just blow out, exhale anything that is holding you back from your fullest potential. So let's go ahead and do that. Inhaling through the nose, down into the perineum, filling up the pelvis, resonating with the second center, and exhaling up the body and out the fifth center. This next breath, inhaling down to the second center, visualizing the color orange, connecting with the second center, exhaling out the color blue from the fifth center. If you have difficulty seeing this, then don't worry about it. Just have that intention. Inhaling down to the pelvis, exhaling out the throat, fifth center. Inhaling down to the pelvis, connecting with the second center, and exhaling down out the fifth center. Now, the invitation is to continue to inhale down to the pelvis, and as you exhale, bring that energy from the pelvic center through the heart and connect with the heart's true desire. So what it is you want in this life, what it is you want right here, right now. Know it to be so. Know that you are the creators, you are the architects, you are the designers, you are the engineers of your lives. And as you connect to your fourth center and that devotion to yourself, exhale through the fifth center and create that possibility. A few more minutes inhaling down into the the second center into the pelvis, connecting with the creation energy or the reproductive energy. Exhaling up the body through the heart's desire, connecting with the heart's true desire, and visualizing that manifestation out through the throat center. You are connecting with your endocrine system. You are interacting with your hormones. You are balancing and bringing balance and harmony to your hormones. As you do this, you are designing the path of your life. You are creating. You are the creator within yourselves. You are the God within you. And what I create is for my betterment, but also the betterment of my fellow man, women, children, family, friends, brothers, and sisters. Last breath, folks. Inhaling down to the pelvis. Filling it up entirely. Exhaling, connecting with the heart and your true desire. And letting it be. Manifesting it, making it reality through your fifth center. Going back to your regular breath and slowly coming back to this time, to this space. When you are ready, wiggle your fingers and toes, allow the circulation to come back to your body. Take a nice deep breath in, slowly open your eyes, allow the light to come back within. It is 7:59 on the dot. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a pleasure, such a privilege, and an honor to share with you today, and also to be co-creator with you, with this wonderful community in this life. Thank you, everybody. Any comments, any questions, anything you may like to add, feel free to do so on the comment section. If not, we will see you all next month, 4th Tuesday of the month. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Judy, did you have any question or anything? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh no. Let's see. You want to type it? Type it on the comments. Thank you, Andres. Thank you, Mrs. M. Thank you, everybody on Instagram. Have a good night, okay? Bye, guys. There we go. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to do two social medias at once here. Hold on 1 second, Judy. There we go. All right. I'm all yours, I think. There we go. Boom. All right. I still can't hear you, my dear. Can you type it in the share? If you go to the bottom, you can't. Do you have my email? Let me give it to you. It's JRHEIZ as in zebra at beoptimal.com. At beoptimal.com. Okay? If you have any questions, call Be Optimal too. I could always give you a call back. I'm sorry the sharing system isn't working. It happens, right? Technology and stuff. All right? Thank you for joining us today, Judy. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Oh, wonderful. I love it. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye. All right. Stop live stream. There we go. Boom. All right. Can I stop it? I think I did.